remember years ago when I was in grad school. So I was in my last year of grad school, finishing up my master's degree. And I made a commitment to myself that I would never, ever read another book once I crossed that stage and got my diploma. I was going to throw out all the books that I had, and I would never buy a book. I would never read again because I was so tired of school. I had devoted 7 years to studying day in and day out, and I was just tired of it. And so about 2 years after, up to 2 years after I graduated, I kept that commitment. I didn't read anything. In fact, my days were consisted of going to work, coming home, hanging out with my daughter and my fiance at the time, and chilling very hard. I used to chill by watching TV all evening long, gossip on the phone with my friends, just doing mindless activities that really didn't help to develop me or help to put me on the path to achieving my goals. And I guess I got tired after doing that for 2 years, and I started questioning myself. I'm like, is this what my life is supposed to be about? No. If I continue to do this, will I achieve my life goals? No. So I started on the path of personal growth and development. And lo and behold, I started reading books again. I immersed myself in all things personal growth and development. Books on changing your mindset, books on goal setting, books on achieving your life's desires, books on neuroplasticity, so many different types of books. So in this video, I want to share with you 10 books that have had a profound impact on my life, that has totally changed my life and allowed me to be a better person, to elevate my mindset, to stop self-sabotaging myself, to cultivate my dreams and cultivate my desires. So I want to share those with you today. The first book that I'm going to talk about is The Secret. And many of you may be familiar with this book. It was very popular. It's by Rhonda Byrne, but it was actually a movie first, a very popular movie. And the reason why this book was such a game changer for me, it's because it introduced me to the concept of life just doesn't happen to us. We create or have the power to create the life that we want by first harnessing our thoughts, by thinking more positive thoughts, having more control of our thoughts, getting control of our emotions, and controlling our actions. This book introduced me to the law of attraction, and it talks about how the law of attraction is one of the most powerful spiritual laws in the whole entire universe. How like attract like. And if we continue to think negative, we attract negativity into our life. Well, this book also, while it was very popular, it also got a lot of there was a lot of negativity associated with the message behind the book, because what a lot of people thought that, well, my thought will create my life. So if I just sit on the couch eating chips and drinking soda all day and just think positive thoughts, things will just show up in my life. And that's really not the way it works. It starts with our thoughts, but also we have to act. There has to be a corresponding action in order for things to change in our life. So the thought is a starting point, but there's more to the whole entire story. But I felt like this book was a great introduction to the fact that our thoughts are instrumental in shaping our life. The second book is Ask and It Is Given, Learning to Manifest Your Desired by Esther and Jerry Hicks. Again, this is another law of attraction book, and it talks about how we can manifest our desires. It gives you a series of exercises that you can follow in order to raise our vibrational frequency. In the book, it teaches us that everything is energy. Our thoughts are energy. Everything, we are made up of energy. And in order for us to become aligned with our desires and our goals, we have to be on a certain energetic frequency. So just like a radio wave emits a frequency in order to broadcast whatever it is, it's broadcasting. The same is true with us. So in order for us to realize our dreams and our goals, we have to broadcast a certain frequency. So if our goal is up here and we're broadcasting at a frequency down here, we will never reach our goals. So we have to raise our frequency to the frequency in which our goals reside. And it has a lot of different exercises in this book that tells you how to do that. It talks about our emotions and our feelings and how they are the signal, they signal to us where we are vibrating at. So whenever we feel bad, that means we're vibrating at a low frequency and we're not vibrating at a frequency that's in alignment with our goals. So here it has various techniques such as meditation, scripting, gratitude, in order for us to help to shift our vibrational frequency. Third up is one of my favorite books. I have this book on Audible. I have this book. I have 2 physical copies of this book. This book is called The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. And this book was written back in the day. And in the book, he delves into the inner workings of our mind, our conscious mind, and our subconscious mind. But he talks more on the subconscious mind because it's the most powerful aspect of our mind. The subconscious mind is where all of our habits are stored. You know, if you think about when we're learning how to drive a car, we're nervous and we're paying attention to the road, and it's like, oh, our conscious mind is active. But after months of driving, it becomes a habit. And now our subconscious mind takes over. And now we're able to drive with one hand. We're driving, talk on the phone. We drive and with our knees. We drive and eat. We no longer need our conscious mind as much as we rely on our subconscious mind. So in this book, he talks about various visualization techniques that we can use to help to reprogram our subconscious mind, as well as affirmation, spoken word, changing our self-talk in order to shift the pattern or the negative pattern in our subconscious mind and really focus on achieving our goals or our dreams and desires. Next up is The Radical Forgiveness by Colin Tippin. And sadly, Colin passed away a couple months ago, but I know his work will live on through this book and other books that he's published. Now, when we think about traditional forgiveness or forgiveness in the traditional sense, it is my opinion that it hinges on the premise that someone has done us wrong. And it's quite difficult to forgive people when we think that they have done us wrong, or when we hold a certain judgment against that person. And Colin Tippin's book, or his radical forgiveness process, takes a very different approach, an unconventional approach actually. In the book, he brings you through a 5-stage process to heal relationship, let go of anger, blame, and find peace in any situation. And it requires that we change our perception. So instead of saying, this person did me wrong, this person is this, and this person is that, we shift it and say, wow, whatever happened happened for my good. Whatever happened has a divine purpose and a divine reason. And that divine reason is for my growth and evolution. So whenever we think of forgiveness in that sense, we're not laying blame on anyone or anything. We are seeing the perfection in the situation, and that situation happened for me to evolve and to be the person that I am meant to be. So I highly recommend this book. In fact, I purchased this book for a lot of people. This book has helped me to heal some of the unforgiveness I was carrying around for a very long time. So it's very powerful. Grab it on Amazon and go through the process, and I'm pretty sure if I saw a shift, you will too. Next up, I believe this is my 5th book. It's The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn. Now, this book was written way back in the day, early 1900s, and it talks about the law of attraction. Actually, not just the law of attraction, talks about a lot of the spiritual laws of prosperity, how to shift our words in order to create the life that we want, the law of non-resistance, the law of forgiveness again. And it talks about how our subconscious mind works and techniques that we can use to change our subconscious programming. So it's very similar to The Secret, as well as Ask and It Is Given, the books that I've mentioned previously. It has many affirmations in it that you can use in order to change your thought patterns, some visualization exercises that we can use to create the picture of the life that we want, and a lot of other good things. So although this was written way back in the 1920s, I think the processes are applicable to today, 2019. So if you're inspired, I would go on Amazon and grab a copy. Book number six is by Louise Hay's, You Can Heal Your Life. I love all of Louise Hay's books, but this one is my favorite. It also has a corresponding workbook that will help you to incorporate the exercises that she outlines in this book. Louise Hay, she is a pioneer in the self-help field. She, to me, is the mother of affirmations. She incorporates affirmation in all of her healing work. She incorporates self-love in all of her healing work. Basic premise of this book is that, again, we have the ability to change the trajectory of our lives, but it first starts with us doing the inner work, changing those thought patterns, those old thought patterns that don't serve us, changing those old beliefs that no longer serve us. Remember, a belief is a thought that we keep thinking over and over and over again. And whatever we believe will show up in our life. So if we want to shift what's showing up on the screen of our lives, we have to shift our thoughts first. And this book is instrumental in helping us to do just that. So again, this is a great book that you can get off of Amazon. The next book is a fairly new book. I think it was released last year in 2018. It's called Inner Size, The New Science to Unlock Your Brain's Hidden Power by John Assaraf. If you remember, if you've watched The Secret, he was a part of the Secret movie. And John has devoted his life to personal growth and development. Specifically, he spent a lot of time researching the brain and how it works, how we can change the patterns within our brain, and consequently change our whole entire life. And what I love about this book is that he really delves deeply in how the brain works. He talks about neuroplasticity. A lot of us think that we cannot change our brain, but science shows that that's not true. We can actually change our brain. And he has a lot of exercises in here, or exercises in the book, that will help to change the negative pattern that we have programmed in our brains. So one of my favorite ones is called the Take 6, Calm the Circuits. And basically, I've used this many times. So most recently, I had a presentation to give, and I was feeling a little bit nervous or anxious about the presentation. So in order to calm myself, I practiced the Take 6, Calm the Circuits, calm my monkey mind. So basically it's very simple. You're going to breathe in. So you're going to take some long breaths in, and then breathe out as if you're breathing through a straw. So you're going to do that 6 times. So breathe in, deep, long breaths. And as you're breathing in, so in the case of my example, I was having anxiety, I was nervous. So I would breathe in, and then I would say a little affirmation. I breathe in calmness, and I breathe out anxiety. Or I breathe in calmness, and I breathe out fear. So whatever you want to use, what applies to your situation. And after 6 times, you can see that anxious energy begins to dissipate. Or I saw that anxious energy began to dissipate. But I love all of John's books, all of his work. I remember he has another book that I'll review at a later time. And when I was traveling for work, I would always listen to it on the airplane. But not only that, but to do the exercises in that book. But this is his most recent book, and it's a game changer, I would say. So, you know the drill. Get it if you feel inspired. Next book is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself: How to Lose Your Mind and Create a New One by Dr. Joe Dispenza. I am currently, or had been for the last year, obsessed with Dr. Joe's work. He is brilliant, in my opinion. This book, actually I have all of his books, but this one in particular, we all have heard the saying that our thoughts create our reality. If you haven't heard it before, I'm pretty sure you heard it on this video. Our thoughts create our reality. But Dr. Joe goes one step further. He goes into the science behind how our thoughts create our reality. And one thing that he mentions in the book is that whenever we have a thought in our mind, it creates an image on the screen of our mind. And also, every thought that we think triggers our brain or signals our brain to release a corresponding chemical. So if we have an angry thought or a thought of jealousy, it releases a toxic chemical into our bodies. And if we have a thought of love and kindness, that releases a happy chemical in our body. So imagine if we're constantly thinking negative thoughts, where we become addicted to those negative chemicals. And it's like we're addicted to those chemicals, and we're always searching for experience that will reaffirm that negativity. So it's like a vicious cycle. We have a thought, it releases a negative chemical, then we have a feeling. So the feeling, the way we feel shows us basically the chemical that's being released. And then it goes back to another negative thought, negative chemical being released, negative feeling. So, and it goes on for years. And after a while, our minds become stagnant. Our bodies begin to deteriorate because of the negative chemicals that's flooding our bloodstream. But in order for us to shift that pattern, we have to break the habit of being who we were and change our whole mindset and become a new person. And the modality that Dr. Joe uses most often is visualization. He really believes in using mind movies, vision board or a recorded movie to create your future, but also meditation. A lot of his meditations are on YouTube. You can also purchase his meditations on his website, but they are powerful. And within his community, you see he's changing a lot of people's lives with his work. But I love Dr. Joe. Go to YouTube, and if you don't feel like buying the book right now, just go to YouTube and watch some of his videos and you can become introduced to his work and make a decision for yourself. It's either you like it or you don't. But either way, it's okay. But if you like it, watch the video and then grab this book or grab the audible version of it. Breaking the habit of being yourself. Next up is an oldie but still a goodie. It's by Jack Canfield. He is the creator of Chicken Soup for the Soul. But this book is called The Success Principle: How to Get From Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. How to get from where you are to where you want to be. And in this book, Jack Canfield chronicles 64 principles that has led him to be one of the world's most successful coaches, author, and entrepreneur. So I really love this book. He talks about some of the success principles are taking 100% responsibility for your life. This is something that I talk to my children about all the time, is that we have to take 100% responsibility for our life. We do not outsource that to anyone, because if we do, then that person has power and influence over the direction in which our life is headed. But when we take responsibility, we take ownership, and we assume power for our life. It talks about goal setting, rejection, dealing with rejection, believe in yourself. Belief is very powerful. We cannot really achieve our goals unless we really believe in ourselves. How to embrace change. A lot of us, we are resistant to change, but everything is always changing. And when we go with the flow and embrace change, then our lives change for the better. So this is it's just a great book, and there's a lot of principles in there that can change the outlook on your life, change the trajectory of your life. So, yeah. Jack Canfield, The Success Principle. Last but definitely not least, we have Happy for No Reason: 7 Steps to Being Happy from the Inside Out by Marcy Shimoff. She also was a part of The Secret movie, so I've referenced quite a few authors here today that were also involved in The Secret. I absolutely love this book, and I love all of her work, to be honest. This book, the main premise behind this book is that happiness is something that we develop from the inside out. Most of us have it backwards. I had it that way, backwards, for quite a long time. I was relying on my job to make me happy, my kids to make me happy, husband to make me happy. These are all external factors. You cannot rely on external happiness because you know what? That's not sustainable. So today we can go on a shopping spree, spend a lot of money, get beautiful clothing, but we're happy for that day or for that week. But after a while, that the novelty of the clothing wears off and we're looking for the next thing to be happy. So in this book, she outlines different principles and techniques that we can incorporate it to foster or cultivate internal happiness. So one of the first technique is taking ownership for your happiness. Yeah, it's happiness is in our hand. We are responsible for our own happiness. Also, cultivating the spirit of gratitude. How gratitude is a proven technique to elevate our levels of happiness. Practicing forgiveness. Finding our why. Finding that which we're passionate about. Pursuing our passion. Tending to our relationship, cultivating our relationship. And our relationship serves as a mirror to mirror back to us some of the things that we need to heal. Those things that we need to heal will never come to the surface if we're not involved in relationships, whether it's a romantic relationship, friendships, relationships at work. They bring out of us what we need to heal. So I really recommend this book. This book has had a profound impact on my life and has given me the realization that happiness is in my hands and it's something that I have to cultivate from within. So that is all I have for you today. Those were 10 books that have had a profound impact on my life, and I believe at least one of those books can have the same impact on your life. In the description below, I'm going to leave all of the titles and the authors and probably the link to Amazon. If you feel inspired to pick up one of the books, then you can go ahead and do so. You can check them out on YouTube, check them out on Audible. And also, if you have a book that has changed your life that's not listed here, I would love for you to comment with that book below, because I'm always looking for good books to read, good lessons to learn, good information to program into my mind. And thank you for watching this video. If you like it, give me a like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you on the next video.